May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts be pleasing to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. One of my favorite sounds in the entire world, and I think I've told you this before, is the sound of a baby laughing. I have a recording that I can listen to over and over and over and over again of my niece laughing. I have listened to it over and over and over again. It was recorded when she was 9 months old, and she is now 14. Like all of the babies that I have ever known, one thing that could really make her laugh was playing peekaboo. When she saw that blanket come down and reveal a face that she recognized, she would laugh and squeal with delight. I think the best part of peekaboo is the "I see you" at the end. There's something about that moment of recognition. I see you. Well, we are in Easter. This is the time right after Jesus has died. But instead of lying dead in the tomb, somehow he is playing peekaboo. He is showing up, being recognized by his friends and disciples all over the place, in some very unexpected places. Last week we talked about Thomas, and for Thomas, that joyful "I see you" was the moment that he got to touch the scars in Jesus' hands and in his side. This week we're talking about these two travelers on the road to a place called Emmaus, and for them the "I see you" took a little time. They were walking. Life had become so overwhelming, so confusing, so upsetting. Their friend had died. But the women had gone to the tomb and come back saying that his body was no longer there. They were so confused and so upset that all they could do was walk. And as they walked, I am sure that they went over and over and over the events of the last few days. And I imagine that they were asking themselves, what next? What do we do next? I have walked before this what next kind of walk. When life is just so overwhelming and confusing that there really is nothing to do but walk. I don't usually walk to Emmaus. I usually walk the aisles of Target. I don't know what your walk to Emmaus is, but I am sure that you have one. That place that you go, that walk that you take when everything is just so overwhelming. So they were walking. And up comes this stranger, who is also walking from Jerusalem toward Emmaus, and he asks, "What's got you down?" This question does not make any sense. And they say to him, "How in the world are you coming from Jerusalem and you don't know what just happened?" Everyone is talking about this. Everyone knows what just happened. About Jesus' trial and his execution and his burial. How did he not know? So they told him the whole story, from beginning to end, how he had been their friend and teacher, and he had been put on trial, and to death, but now the women were going to the tomb saying that he's not there. They were so confused. And this stranger, or so they thought, says, "How can you be confused? Don't you know the stories of your faith?" And so he started telling them stories that they already knew. He told them a story they already knew about a man named Moses who had led people through the desert toward a promised land. He told them stories they already knew about prophets crying out for justice. But this time, as they heard these stories, they all started to make sense. It was like he had put their entire spiritual journey together up to this moment. He made sense of their faith for them. And this incredible stranger was about to walk away when they invited him to stay for dinner. And as they sat down at the table, it happened. The "I see you" moment happened. Because Jesus sat down at the table and he took the bread and he blessed it and he broke it and he gave it to them. They would know that move anywhere. That was Jesus. That was his signature move. He did that all the time. They had watched him do that as he taught 5,000 people on a hillside. There was no food to be found except a few loaves from a little boy. But Jesus took those loaves, blessed them, broke them, gave them to 5,000 people, and there was plenty. They had seen that move just last week when he shared his last meal with them. And when the meal was over, he took the bread, he blessed it, he broke it, and he gave it to them and said, "This is my body, broken for you." That was his move. They knew it when they saw it. They knew him when they saw him do that. For Thomas, it was touching the scars. That was his "I see you." For them, for these two travelers, and so often for us, it is this move. It is the taking, the blessing, the breaking, and the giving. Because it's not just what Jesus did with bread. It's what he did with his life. He took it. He blessed it to its holy purpose. He broke it open in the way that he lived and in the way that he died. And he gave it to his disciples and to us as an example. Jesus did this with everything. Everything. It's how we see Christ. So where do we see this move in our midst? Where are we taking and blessing and breaking and giving? Where are we doing that, especially for those who are on a walk to Emmaus? For those for whom life has become so overwhelming and confusing and unbearable that they need someone to take and bless and break and give to them. Where are we, as a community, seeking to model our life together after Jesus' life? Where are we doing his signature move? What is it that you have that you can take and bless and break and give? visioning for the future. We are figuring out what we have to take, to bless, to break, and to give. So I invite you now to think about what that is for you. Is it time that you need to do that with? Is it time that you have hesitated to commit to a ministry of this church? Is it a financial gift that you want to make? Is it an idea, a vision that you have to make this community look more like the life of Christ? In a moment, I am going to invite you, if you're willing, to do this motion with me. And as you do it, to hold in your intention that thing that you can take and bless and break and give. And if you're not sure what that is yet, that's okay. You can just hold the intention of the movement and recognize that this is the way we model our lives after Jesus in all things. So holding that in your mind and in your heart, I invite you to join me with your hands. Let's take. Take whatever it is. Don't let it pass by. Take it. Bless it. Give thanks for it, knowing that whatever it is, your time, your treasure, your talent, your vision, your ideas, they are all gifts from God. Now take that thing and break it open. It doesn't do anyone any good hidden away for safekeeping. Break it open. And give, knowing that it has been blessed and broken for no other purpose than to be given away. As we look around in our community, in this family of Christ followers, and we see each other doing this, may we continue to laugh